Okay, one of the interesting things about airports around the world is that some of them just don't give you an option for cheap or normal price in restaurants. So it's always good to, if you could just do a little research before you arrive, because, for example, our last trip in November to Vietnam, we flew into Hanoi, and Hanoi airport was fine. We were leaving anyway, right? But then we flew out of Da Nang, and so we had to wait around at Da Nang airport. And really, Da Nang had ridiculously way over the top inflated prices on everything. So I'm just giving an example here of a wonderful place at Don Muang Airport. Bangkok has two major airports, Don Muang and Suvarnabhumi. Both have this magic food park. And so I strongly recommend it. I will show you just how normal it is. Because airports often they have kind of fancier restaurants at fancy prices. But if you do your research, you might get lucky, and that the airport you're flying out of has, regular local food for the local people. Sometimes the staff, the people that work. A lot of people work at airports. They employ a lot of people. So these are all things between, 40 baht, 60 baht. This is like $2 or less. There's 70 baht. And sure, there's going to be maybe 80 baht on some things, but it's simple, right? You can get a window seat. It's air conditioned. So is the one in the other major airport, Suvarnabhumi. And I do have experience with lots of airports like this, and lots of airports that are not like this, where they just have the really inflated prices. So it's good to just do a little Google search so you know what to expect. Another little pro tip, if we're talking budget travel with food, you are allowed to bring your own food through security. The airlines don't like it when you bring your own food onto the airplane, but as far as security goes, they don't care as long as you don't bring a knife. I'm not sure about a fork. Plastic would probably be okay. But I've been in the situation where I did naively bring food onto the airplane, and then I was asked to put it away because they don't allow it. But when you're waiting around, for an hour and a half or something at your gate, for your plane to take off, going through security, no problem. I get asked that all the time, actually. And it's honestly 100% no problem. Okay, there's our stuff. Here's another pro tip. Go to check-in counter that is not open and weigh your stuff. Lots of people don't really have scales or whatever in their hotel room. So it's an excellent way of being prepared. The standard carry-on, like this one and mine, it's supposed to be 7 kilograms, about 15 pounds. And my big one, the first checked luggage, is the cheapest option is usually 15 kilos, sometimes 20 kilos. And this is where the budget airlines really make their money. They offer super cheap flights, just like we got, and I can tell lots of stories of super cheap flights where my checked bag was more than the price of the flight. That's happened several times to me in different parts of the world. So it's good to be prepared to know exactly if you're over the limit, because that's also another steep charge if you go over the limit. So we'll demonstrate right now. Okay, so this is what I mean. You come to a closed check-in counter and you see the number will be right there. Here's the scale. Let's check out my carry-on. Maximum 7 kilos. I'm a little nervous. Oh, I'm 7.1. I think that'll be okay because there's a water bottle there I can get rid of. Okay, another good tip, travel hack, is when you arrive at an airport, always check if there's a public bus going into the city center like there is here in Chiang Mai. It's a special bus in a city that famously doesn't have a very good public bus system. They use the Songtaos and lots of taxis. But this is pretty good. 50 baht. It actually, because it's a specialized bus, you know, it's less than $2, which you will find in different cities around the world. When there is a specialized airport bus, it won't be super cheap like a normal city bus, but it will be convenient. So, and taxis, you know, they start at like 200, 250, and Chiang Mai is small, so it really doesn't take that long. Just a 10-15 minute drive to the old town center. Well, one of the nice things about Phu Quoc is they do have a bus system. It's limited, but it works. If you go to some of the main places, especially along the main road, the beach road, like the night market, different famous temples. And it's an airport bus, which is really awesome. So I love that. I love when places at the airports have a specialized bus going into the city center. And it's very reasonable. It's 20,000 dong. That's less than $1. So that's like 75 cents or something. Oh, and they come every 15 minutes and run 24 hours. It's unbelievable. It's amazing. Okay, check out this scam that I thought had faded out. But because I seriously got caught in this scam about 15 years ago, flying from France to England. So here's the situation now with the flight to Vietnam and coming back to Thailand. It's on the flight coming back from Bangkok to Chiang Mai, and we're flying on Thai Lion Air, and it says, so I got an email that said you must print out your itinerary from us, or, well, it didn't say it just said you must do it. And I know what happened in France with EasyJet. I had to pay 60 euros. It's like about $70 more than the flight, because the flight was only 40 euros. I remember that. Okay, so you could read it. It actually does say this is an e-ticket. So I printed this out because they sent it in the email. To enter the airport and for check-in, you must present the itinerary receipt along with official government-issued photo identification such as a passport, identity card, or Indonesian KTP. So, yeah. So what happens is because who does that anymore? It's true. You used to have to print out your e-ticket, you know, like 15, 20 years ago or whatever. I mean, nobody does that anymore. Yeah, so that's a warning to you. Always check out the fine print when you buy a ticket on a budget airline. You know, it's the budget airlines trying to make money any way they can, whether it's charging ridiculous amounts for the luggage or charging you for your seat choice or charging you a lot for food because the food's not free, that kind of thing. So just be aware. It seriously still happens in 2026. Unbelievable.